Welcome back to another episode of In the End, There's Always a Disney Guide, you guys. Today we're going to be talking about, y'all know, Marvel again. But what are we going to be talking about in Marvel? We're going to be talking about Spider-Man No Way Home, which came out December 17th. And things got pretty deep. I'm not even going to lie. Things got pretty deep. Deeper than I honestly expected things to get to. Um, I wasn't shocked, but I was shocked at the same time. But let's get down to what happened in the movie. So if you've seen the movie, if you've seen the previous movie, unfortunately Tony Stark had died from Endgame. Um, he died, you guys know, when he snapped his fingers and everything. But after that heroic move, Peter Parker, he made some bad decisions. He got his identity revealed as Spider-Man, and people figured out. Well, the entire world figured out who Peter Parker was, and things immediately changed for him and um his friends and his family. His friends applied for college. They couldn't get in because of their affiliation to Spider-Man and the things that happened in the news, unfortunately. So, guess what Mr. Spidey decided to do? Mr. Spidey decides to go to Doctor Strange. Y'all know the Wizard of Oz. And he goes and he asks if there's a spell basically that will get everyone to forget who he is. And even before asking that, never even asked his friends if it would have been a good idea to forget who he was. He never asked his friends. He just went up to Doctor Strange to see if he could fix everything because of the issue, which it was a huge issue. I mean, everybody knew who he was. But still at the same time, it was bogus because it was like, you ain't even ask your friends to do that. You're just going to go and do something big like that. It was bogus. So he went and Doctor Strange, there was a spell. There was a spell for it. Not even shocked. And he began to complete the spell. But then Mr. Spidey decided that he wanted there to be little attributes added to it, meaning little cuts he wanted certain people to know. And he kept irritating Doctor Strange because he continuously kept reframing the spell, basically. So, as he's completing the spell, I believe like for the sixth time, that's when the spell goes out of control. The world literally starts to break, like breaking into the multiverse, into the multiversal universe. And if you guys don't know what the multiverse is, if you've seen Loki, the multiverse is basically a universe of basically the sacred timeline. And there's one timeline. You guys remember that huge universe with that line, that big glowy line in Loki. That's the multiverse. And you remember when it started branching out? That's the multiverse. So the world started breaking into the multiverse because our universe is is a part of the multiverse, the sacred timeline. So because of that, the spell went wrong in all sort of ways, causing different Spider-Mans from different universes. I believe it was three different Spider-Mans from different universes to come into our universe. Um, and at first, Doctor Strange wanted to immediately send them back where these Spider-Men kept dying continuously. And of course, Peter Parker had to be the hero and was like, no, we have to break the cycle, basically. But Doctor Strange was definitely not agreeing with him. Even though what he was doing was very, you know, heroic. The point is that that's not their fate. Everyone has their own fate. Everyone has their own destiny. That's their fate to die. Even though that's kind of sad and unfortunate, but that's how it was supposed to happen. He wasn't supposed to change the way that was supposed to happen. So, as usual, Peter Parker goes on with the nonsense and sends Doctor Strange opens up because Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange got into an argument. They started fighting. Doctor Strange opened up the mirror universe. Bad thing for him because Spider-Man took the ring off of Doctor Strange's finger and portaled up out of there, out of the mirror dimension, and left him in there while he was trying to make this plan of how to figure out to save these other Spider-Men, which was a dumb move. But I could see why he would do something like that. But it was still a dumb move. So he then goes and tries to figure out a solution. Unfortunately, one of them, whatever his name is, that was played by Jimmy Fox. His powers were different and stronger, and he was so embraced with it, and he liked it so much that he got so caught up into it. And that's when they got into a huge fight against all the villains, Octopus Man and all the other people. May died. That's when Aunt May died, unfortunately. And Spider-Man began to lose hope, but he stuck right on through. All his Spider Brothers helped him, figure out a way to keep going and push through it. When Spider-Man did come up with a plan, that plan wasn't going to happen either way because, like I said, as first of all, I don't know if you guys know about the laws of time and space and physics, but there can't be three different versions of you in the same universe at once. That just it unbalances nature. Have you ever heard of the saying, nature always finds a balance? Three Spider-Man, three different versions of Spider-Man from three different universes in one universe, that's completely unbalanced. So that's why Doctor Strange kept saying, they have to return back to their universe because that's unbalanced. Somehow nature's gonna find a way to balance it out, and that's why the world started to break literally. The universe started to break because that's not how it's supposed to be cosmically. But after when Doctor Strange finally came back and saw the progress Peter Parker was made, he was very surprised with his how basically how far he progressed with his heroics, even though he was still upset, which he was because everything he was doing was still wrong, and even though he was trying to find a way to save them, it still didn't work because the universe started to break out even worse. It started to crumble even worse than it did before. So that's when he had to do the spell again. But this time, everyone had to forget who he was, unfortunately. Spider-Man was like he was going to make them realize, who he was again. I forgot about it after that. But basically, what I like about this movie is that, because this upcoming phase is definitely going to be about the multiverse. I like the fact that how they told the story. It was amazing. I mean, it was good. I definitely can't wait for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness to come out. I mean, that's going to be even better because that's going to tell. It seems like these movies are answering the questions that the Disney Plus series is like WandaVision and Loki and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. These movies and Hawkeye, these movies are answering questions that we have about the shows, about these TV shows that premiered in 2020. They're answering our questions, basically. This is what these movies are doing. Spider-Man, I would say definitely doesn't hit anything as far as for the TV show. I believe Doctor Strange will. Obviously it will be connected to WandaVision. And Captain America 4 obviously is connected to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is gonna be connected to those two, and then Loki is obviously gonna be connected to Doctor Strange as well, and to Ant-Man and the Wasp. So those are gonna be really great. And I can't wait to see where the story leads off next because I'm not gonna lie, Marvel is doing a pretty good job. I mean, they're doing it. They're really doing it. And there's another Guardians of the Galaxy coming out. I mean, they're on a roll. They're not playing. But make sure you guys already know, follow this podcast. Y'all already know, subscribe to this podcast so y'all can get an update when each new episode airs and premieres. Thank you for listening in. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And yeah, bye-bye, guys.